Good morning, students. So, the topic for discussion today is armature reaction. So, how the phenomenon called armature reaction is affecting a DC generator and DC motor. So, it's like in both a DC generator and DC motor, it's actually they are just opposite. The effect on motor will be exactly opposite to what is happening on effect of a generator. So, we will discuss about the effect of armature reaction on a generator, and we will just do a comparison like how differently it is coming. So, in a DC generator, the armature current induces the armature flux and the main poles includes the field flux. So we have two types of flux here. One due to the armature current and other due to the main because from the north pole to south pole, magnetic flux will be flowing and that will cause the field flux. So the effect of armature flux on the main field flux is called armature reaction. That everybody knows, I think. So we see that the armature field is produced by the armature conductor when current flows through them. It's understood. So the armature flux, it actually causes two effects on the main field flux. First one is called the cross magnetizing effect, which can result at sparking at the brushes. We know that there are brushes present at the port present. So that and the cross magnetizing effect can result in sparking at the brushes. So armature reaction distorts the main field flux, and that distortion of the main field flux is what we call as the cross magnetizing effect, and this can result in sparking at the brushes. Okay, and it can also reduce the magnitude of the main field flux, and that we call as demagnetizing effect. Since it distorts the main field flux and reduces it, we can say that armature reaction reduces the generated voltage, right? So it distorts the main field flux and it reduces it. So we can say, so it reduces generated voltage. That's a demagnetizing effect actually. So in a DC machine, the position of the brushes and commutator is decided by the magnetic neutral axis. So two important axes, two important terms that we study in the armature reaction concept is one is geometric neutral axis and other one is the magnetic neutral axis, that is GNA and MNA. That you will see what it is in the coming section. So we can conclude, we can just have an idea like in a motor, we can say that the average value of the torque reduces because we know in a motor the back EMF will be produced and that is actually proportional to the flux. So we saw that in armature reaction can result in reduction of the induced voltage. So overall EB reduces, so average value of the torque also reduces. One thing you understood. Then in a generator, we can say that average value generator voltage EG reduces. So both cases, it's causing harmful effects. So first one is cross magnetizing, demagnetizing. Then the third one that is shifting of the brush axis. That is M and magnetic neutral axis gets shifted. So the favorable condition is like the magnetic neutral axis should coincide with the geometric neutral axis. In that condition, we can say that there is no armature reaction or there is no cross magnetizing effect. But that is never going to happen because it will always have an armature reaction because the main field flux will always react with the armature flux. So the brush is always kept in magnet, but it gets shifted due to armature reaction. That is one thing. So as the armature reaction weakens the main field flux, the magnetic neutral axis gets shifted slightly. So as a result, it becomes difficult to know the exact position of the magnetic neutral axis. See, so what is GNA? GNA means it is the axis that bisects the angle between the central line of two adjacent sources. So we have a north pole, we have a south pole, and we have the magnetic field lines traveling from north pole to south pole. So this horizontal axis we call as polar axis or D axis or direct axis, and the perpendicular one we call as interpolar axis or Q axis. Just remember, polar axis or interpolar axis or direct axis or quadrature axis, D axis or Q axis. Important. Whichever conductor is under the north pole. So from Fleming's right hand rule, we know that whichever conductor is under the north pole, it always produces into. So it will be going into inside, and whichever conductor is under south pole, it always produces dot, that is coming outside. So this how to determine this direction you already know. I have taught you in the initial classes by using Fleming's right hand rule. Your three fingers will be folded, should be kept perpendicular, and you know how to do it. I'm not explaining now. So geometrical neutral axis, you understood what it is. That is the axis that bisects the angle between central line of two adjacent poles. That is geometrical neutral axis. Fine. And magnetic, the difference between the difference from the other one, that is magnetic neutral axis, is magnetic neutral axis actually it is perpendicular to the air gap flux. Or we say the resultant flux. Resultant from what? Resultant flux, that is the flux that is left after the effect of armature reaction. That is what we call resultant flux. And MNA. So because of the armature reaction, the resultant flux will be changed. So if there is armature reaction, the direction of the resultant flux will change. As a result, the MNA will get shifted because MNA is always perpendicular to the air gap flux at the center of the armature. So listen, look at this graph shown here. So we have the north pole here, south pole here. So though the main field flux FM is traveling from north pole to south pole, and we have the flux due to the armature reaction which is acting downward, FA, and the geometric neutral axis is there, and the brushes we keep at the geometric neutral axis. So if this MNA gets shifted, the brushes also get shifted, and that's why it results in sparking. Okay, that's one concept. So we have FM is here, and we have the that is main field is there, armature field is there. So we can draw the resultant, that is FR. This is the resultant here. So we can see that when we draw a perpendicular to the resultant flux, it is coming like this. So we can see that there is a shift of the magnetic neutral axis from the geometric neutral axis. This is one concept. So for further understanding, please listen. Like we have a north pole and we have a south pole, and we have the armature conductor, and this is determined. So near the north pole it will be into, and near the south pole it will be outside. So you know how to determine that. And here we have the armature field, and this is the main field. But you know that, and we know the armature is rotating, rotor is rotating in the clockwise direction. So when we determine the direction of the flux by using Fleming's right hand rule, we see that most of the flux, because the resultant will come like this, most of the flux is concentrating in this area. So we call it we call this a trailing pole tip, and we call this as the leading pole tip. So as a result, the magnetic neutral axis is also shifted without being with the geometric neutral axis. So we can say that the flux is increased at the trailing pole tip here, and flux is decreased as the leading pole. So how you understood like the flux will be more at the trailing pole tip and less at the leading pole tip? By using Fleming's right hand rule, or even you can use the thumb rule by looking at the direction of the field, the magnetic field, and the induced EMF and the current. Yes. So one thing is that when we are not considering the effect of armature reaction, I already told you the GNA coincide with the MNA, no problem, no sparking, nothing. So for a better understanding of how this flux concentration happens, we can see that we have the north pole, we have the south pole. So EMF, the flux will be flowing from north pole to south pole. So we'll just take one single pole, single conductor. So here it will be into, and here it will be dot solid coming outside. So we can see that from by thumb rule, we got that the direction of the flux here it is in this direction, but the main flux is going in this direction. So we can say that the resultant flux phi r will be decreasing. So armature flux is in this direction, and the field flux was in this direction. So here it is decreasing. So but here it is increasing. Both the flux are in same direction. That's why in a trailing pole tip, we have more flux. So that's why it will be like this, as shown in this diagram. will be like this. Here it will be more and here it will be like that. Here it will be more, here it will be more. Yeah. So we can conclude the effect of armature reaction like if the brushes are kept along the magnetic neutral axis, then there will be only cross magnetizing effect. So see, here we can do so there is only a cross resultant flux that is due to the cross magnetizing effect, because demagnetizing effect will come only due to saturation at the trailing pole tick. So how saturation happens? Two ways I already explained with two different diagrams. Okay, so we can say that the MNA shifts in the direction of the generator rotation. You see, it was rotating like this, so MNA was shifting this way towards it was shifting in the direction of the rotation. So, and the degree of how much it is shifting depends upon the armature current. Okay, and here we can also say that the maximum value of the flux density is increased. One effect of armature reaction is the maximum value of the flux density is increased. So iron loss also increased. So we have a basic equation like how iron loss and hysteresis loss is related with the magnetic flux. Like hysteresis loss is proportional to magnetic flux raised to 1.6, and eddy current loss is proportional to magnetic flux raised to the whole square. So we can say that as the magnetic flux is increased, the maximum value of the flux is increased, the iron loss also increases. As a result, the overall efficiency decreases. This is already taught to you. So always the flux exists along brush axis due to the cross magnetizing effect. You see, the flux always there will be some flux along the brush axis. So this can result. So the EMF is not zero there. So this can result in delayed commutation, and this results in the sparking at brushes. Okay. And you already know the flux is concentrated at the trailing pole tip. So EMF at the trailing pole tip will be more, and this can result in destruction of insulation and short circuit. So now we have seen armature reaction on the basis of a generator. So for a motor, it will be just opposite. Don't look at both the topics and get confused. You just draw the diagram, and if it is a motor is just you take the like. In a generator, the EMF was more EMF was at the trailing pole tip. In a motor, it will be at the leading pole tip. More flux will be at the leading pole tip, as the direction of the rotation is opposite. Just then you can use your thumb rule and you will get it. Okay. Generator and motor, that's armature reaction for you. So you understood that armature reaction has many harmful effects, and we need some methodology to compensate this armature reaction. So now let's see the methods to reduce armature reaction in a DC machine. So we can say that the armature reaction causes the distortion of the main field flux, that is cross magnetization. So this can be reduced if the reluctance of the path of the cross magnetizing field is increased. So one method is the use of high reluctance pole tips. So what we should use, the reluctance should be more, then cross magnetizing effect can be decreased. So armature teeth and the air gap at the pole tips offer reluctance to armature flux. Understood? Armature will be there, there is some gap is there, and that produces some reluctance. Reluctance means just like a resistance. So by increasing resistance to the flux, we call it reluctance. So by increasing the air gap, the armature reaction effect is reduced. That is one point. Then another method is use of compensating windings. What actually compensating windings does? It neutralizes. So this is the compensating winding, because along with the armature and the main winding, the series winding, there will be a compensating winding also present. You can see here, we have the field winding, we have the commutating poles here. Then we have the rotor, field poles are there, everything. So this is the armature winding. So it neutralizes the armature flux in the pole arc region, which would otherwise cause severe distortion of the main field flux. So what actually the compensating winding does is compensating winding, it decreases the effect of main field flux on the armature flux. One thing that do, because it will be in mutually opposite direction and they will get neutralized. The flux due to the compensating winding and the armature flux, they will come in mutually opposite direction and they will get neutralized. And it also decreases the effect of self-induced EMF. Right? So these are this is how compensating winding helps. And now we have the interpoles. So interpoles are used to improve the cross magnetizing effect. So interpoles, they are similar to the main field poles and located on the yoke between the main field poles. So they have a winding in series with the armature winding. They affect the armature reaction effect in the commutating zone. So they eliminate the need to shift the brush assembly. So the overall brush assembly, they need not be shifted. So GNA and MNA can coincide, and the brushes can stay there itself, and we can avoid sparking. So just as I explained, like what is geometric neutral axis and magnetic neutral axis. So the axis that bisects the angle between central line of two adjacent poles, that is perpendicular to the stator field axis. That's it. And then MNA is perpendicular to the resultant flux, that is air gap flux at the center of the armature reaction. So this session is based on armature reaction of a DC machine, that is both generator and motor. So what are the harmful effects, the diagrammatic representation, the diagrammatic explanation, everything. Then how to reduce it by using some methods. So this is an important question in terms of your examination point of view, as well as in your day-to-day, like in your if you're working somewhere also, this, and in your many interviews also, you will get this question. So I hope that magnetic like armature reaction is clear for everybody now, and if you have any doubts, you can please ask me, and I shall clear that for you. Thank you.